Welcome back, guys. Game number 2 here as XSplit has a little bit of a hiccup, but hopefully we should be good. I'm Durka here in the JD Studios. Let's get straight into it, shall we? We had to wait a little bit for Danish TV, but we've got game number 2 here ready for you. Scary Faces up against Virtus.Pro. VP took game number 1. A bit of a mess. A lot of a mess, actually. It was just kills non-stop, and yeah, you can hear my co-caster giggling in the background. Skim. Do we think game number 2 is going to be as messy, or do you think VP just want to say, right, it's getting a bit late, let's put this one to bed?
This is the 4th VP game that we're casting, and I think it's safe to say that all 3 of them were kind of messy.
Yeah.
To an extent, so odds are it's just going to be the same, but at the same time, they pick up Shadow Fiend and Spirit Breaker. Seems like a much more serious approach to this whole thing. It's like a very, very standard sort of like pickup. At least if you look at like a few months ago, Spirit Breaker these days is not as standard these days, but it's still a really good hero to have against the Queen of Pain, just because of that early lockdown. Yeah,
definitely. Charge yourself around a little bit. Now, no Alk, no Venomancer, nothing along those lines picked up just yet. Scary Faces, though, General Queen of Pain is definitely a force to be reckoned with. But keeping up with G's Shadow Fiend is going to be difficult. So they get the Bane, apply a little more pressure towards the middle lane. But Virtus.Pro, I honestly think you have to start banning out things like Winter Wyvern. Venomancer is actually going to get banned out there and dying from VP. But Winter Wyvern here is a second phase ban for Scary Faces. Really is what I'm looking for. You know, something that provides the early laning stage for the SF, gives a little more teamfight lockdown, sustain, and, you know, just kind of gives you that synergy in between the team fights. But instead, they take out the Dazzle. Yeah, a little bit of reactive support play can come out of him and TP towards the SF. So maybe this is more indicative of Scary Faces wanting to go and find kills during the laning phase.
I agree with you, actually. I think they definitely needed to ban one of those 2 heroes, either Dazzle or Wyvern, just because VP does have the first pick now after the second stage. Oh. And okay, they go for the Tusk. Huh. I would have said just either Dazzle or Wyvern is really strong here, but what?
Okay, here we go. Luna was something they've, like, Scary Faces for me is very similar to CIS Rejects. Their one-role heroes aren't, normal. They don't run the anti-mage. They don't run these heroes that you very often see. They like the Luna, the Slark, the Wraith Kings, things like that. But this hero is something I wasn't expecting. But again, does fit into that kind of, right, we'll bolster our lanes, allow ourselves a little more wiggle room to play aggressively and jump in onto these enemy heroes. But Scarth Mage, Tusk, Spirit Breaker, Shadow Fiend, they've got a lot of single target focus here, a little bit of AoE in there as well, but they need that synergy hero.
First of all, this speed at which they are drafting, it feels like both are just like, hey guys, it's really late. Yep. Especially since it's like in Russia and like, I don't know where Scary Faces is from actually, but it's really late for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they're from the east. They're from like CIS.
It's like even an hour ahead, maybe even 2, I think, so.
Well, Moscow's 2 hours ahead of CEST, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think all of Virtus.Pro is from Russia or Moscow. I think FNG, for example, is from Belarus. I think Phobos is from the Ukraine, so I don't know. But still, it's like 1 to 2 hours ahead. So yeah, it does feel like both teams are just like, hey guys, we want to finish this up. And Scary Faces, maybe try something new. I don't think the Train Protector is necessarily bad or Luna is necessarily bad, but it's really weird heroes to pick up. And if you just look at Virtus.Pro, Luna is actually going to suffer really badly in the early game. Like Spirit Breaker, the Skywrath Mage, Tusk. A lot of gank potential, a lot of early game gank potential, and a burst as well in lockdown. So Luna, a naturally very squishy hero, has to probably stack up in terms of like stats very early on. Get like that early bracer and treads.
So when we're looking at Virtus.Pro here, Shadow Fiend mid, Tusk or Spirit Breaker, which one would you prefer in the offlane? Like, which one's a Phobos hero? Both?
I think the Phobos hero is the Tusk hero. I think Spirit Breaker, in my opinion, is, I want to say, easier to run as a support.
Yeah, just charge around onto the Queen. I guess you look at it that way. If it's to deal with the Queen of Pain, you don't want to be, wasting your laning time just charging around everywhere. So yeah, Spirit Breaker support in the 4 roll, Scarth 5, Tusk 3, Shadow Fiend 2. So 1 roll hero for VP. Now, what could they go for against a Quap, Bane, Luna, Treant? There's some good physical damage. Yeah, Slark. I mean, the thing is, there's like AoE damage out there, but stuns is kind of lacking. Treant, the ulti can be dispelled by the Dark Bank, so good call. Good call. Banned out the Slark, so VP, hey, hello. Okay, FNG, this isn't Power Rangers. This is harking back to the days when Power Rangers used to run that one-roll Venge over and over again. And I'm wondering, Illidan, is this your hero? Is this something that you've been practicing?
It probably is. I want to say that I've seen Illidan play it before. I'm gonna Google this, or I'm gonna look it up, just because it feels something that is very reminiscent. But yeah, Venge isn't really that bad of a carry, to be honest.
Her stat gain is so good.
Yeah, exactly. It is really good, and like the thing what's really good about core Venge, in my opinion, actually, is the fact that you get an early swap if you do level it, swap level 2, that is, because that swap is honestly a really good spell that scales really well just because of the insane range. And if you catch out the Luna just out of position, imagine it like this: you're Venge, you swap in the Luna into your Tusk and Spirit Breaker and Skywrath Mage. She's dead.
Well, it counteracts the Queen of Pain blink as well, stops the Fiend's grip. It really messes things up. So displacement ability, Illidan is going to be picking up that Vengeful Spirit and State 21. And final pick, Sand King for the offlane. So they've got Treant, Bane, their 2 supports. I mean, these 2 heroes are very good, roaming heroes. They may not sort of seem it on paper, but if you get boots first over on the Treant, you go around. We saw this from PPD when he used to run it time and time again. You go around and use that Lich Seed, slow people down, open up kills, and you've got the heroes that can follow up on it. Queen of Pain and Luna are both aggressive cores. They can go forward and output a good amount of damage very early on, from the get-go. And then Bane is the same kind of story. Good stat gain, get himself a couple of points up into the brain sap, you trade hits, and you just open things up for your laning stage to progress nicely. The Sand King offlane, there's nothing really that can stop him from using that Sandstorm. There's a couple of heroes that maybe can run into the enemy jungle and stop him from stacking, stop him from farming in there efficiently. But I think VP, they can contest any pulls and stacks that they want to. Get G smoked up with DK Phobos and FNG. And it is actually DK Phobos on the Spirit Breaker, so it's going to be support Tusk and Spirit Breaker for the offlane.
Okay. I actually think the Sand King is probably not going to be on the offlane that much. If anything, they're probably just going to put the Treant Protector there to leech XP and just have the Bane and Sand King sort of stack up a lot of things in the jungle and then farm up there, and maybe having the Bane rotate to the mid lane here and there. The question is, though, do they really want to leave the Luna alone? And I said earlier that I think the Tusk is going to be on the offlane, just because personally I think the Tusk scales better or is more valuable in the mid game with items, in contrast to the Spirit Breaker. Because I think the Spirit Breaker is in this weird place where I guess you go drums, maybe Shadow Blade, and then into a BKB potentially, but I feel like a Tusk with a Blink, a Glimmer Cape, even the kind of Mac Greaves kind of Tusk that you see sometimes, I think even that is more valuable. But I guess VP want to approach this game a bit differently, and looks like even it's going to be an aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, this is something that Power Rangers used to do a hell of a lot, and we were talking about it in one of their previous series where, oh god, I can't remember what they... Oh yeah, Troll. When they run the... Of course, it was...
Of course,
it was the last game. It was half an hour ago. But yeah, it was the Troll aggressive tri-lane. That's something that Empire used to do. So FNG, the mastermind behind VP pretty much here with the draft and things like that, he's taking all of these aspects from, his old teams, from other teams in the region, and really bringing them to light here for Virtus.Pro. Now, Vengeful Spirit, the most interesting thing about this hero when you see her in the one role is skill build. Because Vengeance Aura obviously scales amazingly pretty much with that percentage-based damage increase you get. Wave of Terror is pretty good in the mid-game with the minus armor, but the Magic Missile... Stun duration doesn't scale very well. The damage, though, does scale decently. So I think in an aggressive tri-lane, going for the stun is going to be pretty good. Even if you do have already the Tusk snowball in. Just going for that extra duration so that Skywrath Mage can output a little bit more damage. Have a look and see where he goes with that. Now, how are we doing? FNG Skywrath Mage going to help out G a little bit of middle lane. General Queen of Pain over towards the mid, and this is not an easy game for him. Skywrath Mage, pretty good against the Quap. Ancient Seal and Arcane Bolt. Both good abilities up against it. DK Phobos, safe lane against the Sand King, 1v1. And just take a look at this. Star Observer wards all across the place, expecting the safe lane tri-lane. But the contest is here. FN on the Luna, Arzeek playing your Treant, and Shadowway on the Bane Elemental. Up at top, dealing with Illidan's Venge and Lil's Tusk. And this is not an easy lane for this dual lane. They need the Skywrath Mage up here as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah, but FNG did a really good job mid here, bullying out General and even forcing out a Self. And the reason they had the Skywrath here for the first wave is just because the SF didn't go for the Razors build. So he actually went ahead and got Necromastery on level 1 just to get an early start in that CS. So FNG basically secured that. And now his laning stage should be fair. I'm not going to say easy, but it should be much better.
Look at that. G just stands his ground and pounds into General. Does lose out a little bit in the trade-off there with the Shadow Strike down. But Salve comes out for General, so it's bottled, delayed even further there. Now, this is a weird switch-up. Illidan's moved to bot. DK Phobos is down here. I think they've wanted to give Illidan a little more free, safe farming down here. FNG up at top, and they're just trying to switch things up. Now, this is really what separates, you know, the really high-tier teams from sort of the middling teams is when you're put into a situation where you need to switch your lanes up. How do you do it? Because a lot of teams, you know, sort of tier 2 teams would just TP people down, buy 3 TPs, get people down to bot lane, and say, right, we're in a lane we want to be in. But you take a look at the movement from VP here. They move the Vengeful Spirit down with a TP scroll, and then slowly but surely they move Lil down. They don't lose too much experience top with FNG getting some XP. The Spirit Breaker charges across, runs up towards top lane, but they've drawn State 21 across as well. Now Lil can just walk himself down, so they didn't just do the straight up switch. They forced movements from ScaryFaceZZZ.
Phobos, he's being blocked with the illusions.
He's okay. He
took so much damage though. Look at this.
Caustic Finale with the Burrow Strike. You sure you want to go for this? So DK Phobos has to salve up. Shadowway's going to move down here as well. Middle lane, G. Raise out onto the creeps, but General still has the blink, and it looks like he might actually go for this kill. A few right clicks in, he's got blink, he's got scream, he's got the first blood.
This is so awkward. I feel like Phobos should have realized this, or the fact that General was going onto SF, and he charged top, and you could even see Lil pinging out. Like, dude, why are you charging top when our SF is about to die in this mid lane? So if he had charged the co-op, I'd actually argue that they would have killed her. So this is like awkward. But yeah, it's G, it's an SF on Radiant. He's gonna catch up.
Yeah, they've got FNG stacking and stuff for them. Up at top, DK Phobos, oh, you are in trouble, my son. They've got a kill up there as well as the Scarth Mage TP's in. But he might be in trouble himself as Shadowway turns to try and trade hits. Nightmare's available, but nothing much else to follow through on it. So General mid lane, again we see this kind of trade-off where G aggressively farms in the lane, gives up a kill, but he always knows that the overall net trade-off is going to be in his favor. This is a thing that G does time and time again. Sometimes it's very reminiscent of, you know, how CTY plays, where you play so hyper aggressively that either the opponent is too scared to face up against you and they lose their lane that way, or they kill you, but you're still out farming and outlast hitting and, you know, just trading much more efficiently against them. Like this. He turns, he raises, General played aggressively into him because he knows how G is playing, and he gets the worst of it this time.
Yeah. I just want to come back to this aggressive tri-lane that VP initially tried out. Why did they retreat? What was? I'm like so confused.
Like Treant, Bane, Luna, there's so much damage and sustain up there that it's just not going to work out. You know, maybe VP in the right circumstances they can find that initial burst of damage onto one target and kill off that one hero, but I don't think they could continually find it. They need Illidan to farm. We talked about the scaling capabilities of Venge, but she's not in the regular aspects of snowballing hero, but she does need her items up and running very quickly, and one of the best things about Venge is pushing into towers. You know, looking at this max stun build, sure, they've got kill potential, but clearing out creep waves, pushing into towers with that minus armor onto the creeps and the Vengeance aura, that's what she's really there for.
That's a good point, and this Sand King as well, I don't know. He's level 4 for sure, but he's not really getting anything. In this jungle, there's only one camp stacked for him.
Hey, hang on a second. It's up at top. DK Phobos, that nightmare animation was pretty screwed up. He's still got the charge away, but Lucent Beam and the damage output's there. And this is the trouble. This is the trouble. Our Zeke not going to go down to the tower. He's got living armor as well, so he'll be perfectly fine up there. Meanwhile, at middle lane, they're actually looking to try and stop General from farming too well towards here. And
they want to bait him in. G has been doing a really good job trying to sort of like bait in an aggressive blink or even like an aggressive movement towards the cliffside from General, because if he does step a bit too far forward, then there's going to be the silence from FNG. So it is very unfortunate though that General is playing it really safe here in this mid lane. He's doing a really good job, honestly.
Yeah, he got that. He got the kill. He's trading last hits,
Yeah.
and this is where he wants to be. State 21 though. Sandstorm. Boros strikes on cooldown though, and in they come. The living armor's there onto the Sand King. And this is not an easy kill to take up, even with a snowball forward. The double raises, another one is needed. They need a little bit more damage, and he'll Boros strike himself away. G doesn't get in there with the damage, and naturally FN with General. They're all here. They're ready to fight. Lil takes the full eclipse to the face. And G's getting chased by General. Sonic Wave will finish that one off, and ScaryFaceZZZ. 5 kills to the good already. 6.5 minutes in. Laning phase has gone spectacularly well for them.
G hesitated with the long race.
Yep.
It was honestly the perfect line. He could have hit it quite easily.
This area is like around sort of bits of trees, all this little nonsense here. It's so difficult, and they're picking it out now. Shadow Fiend's like, well, if I aim this way, the pathing does get screwed up, and
yeah, that's true.
It's really difficult to line up a raise in this area, especially if you're keeping in mind heroes coming from the west over towards the tower, TP's coming in, because you need to position yourself defensively to retreat and escape, which he did. But it's an awfully risky scenario to put yourself in already. Look at General already. G getting pushed back 0-2 and 0. And Illidan, even though you are this Vengeful Spirit, you need to get your fight on pretty quickly. State 21's nearly hitting into level 6. And he's not looking too shabby. DK Phobos hasn't made a single charge around the map either. He's charged top twice defensively or to try and get himself back to lane, but none towards the Queen of Pain.
And this is where I think Spirit Break as a support would have been better. It is much you don't really think twice about charging somebody. If you're an offliner as the Spirit Breaker, you think to yourself, okay, is this rotation actually going to be successful? Am I wasting my time? Could I potentially snag a bit of XP here? Where's the Tusk, for example, from Lil's side? He hasn't really been doing too much, right? He hasn't really rotated anywhere. If anything, he's just been stacking. So I feel like the Spirit Breaker as a support would have been much more valuable.
Oh, bump to the head there. Got the damage output as well. The Bane demolished. He gets the bounty rune, but yeah, the bash, the hits, and there we go. 2 kills. They've got themselves up on the board, and G gets them both up to 36 souls. Hits level 8, and he's got his treads done now as well. And this pressure that he's been under, it's alleviated. Completely alleviated. He's got stacks to fall back on into the jungle. He's back on track where he wants to be. General's still ahead of him by about 1,000 net worth with the kills and the creeps he's got. But it's not all roses anymore for ScaryFaceZZZ. They're losing tier 1 at bottom lane. They haven't applied the same amount of pressure up at top. And this Luna, she needs her items. She needs them relatively quickly, because if she goes for the stats build and she gets stunned up, swap down a bottom lane, Bane is caught with a stun as well. No nightmare denied for you as a snowball. I'll cancel that one out. But yeah,
pretty good awareness from Illidan coming out here. And this is the one thing that I guess is sort of like the surprise factor, I guess. If you play up against a Vengeful Spirit, are you really fully aware of all the dangers? Oh, mid lane, FNG is dead.
Poor little Scarrath.
Are you really aware of the amount of damage a carry Venge can dish out if you're not really used to playing against? Because one swap and like 3 hits and Bane was basically dead. So it's like one of those things that you maybe not really think about when you're like in the lane up against the Vengeful Spirit, who by the way also got a kill early on the Sand King. So Sand King also not a good time. Look at his items, or look at his gold. He's going now for the Tranquil still, so he's so far away from his blink.
He really is. Yeah, it's level 6 up to level 7 soon, but looking amazing for him. Now, this Luna up at top, looks like she's going to go into the stats build, the Yasha, maybe drums if she really wants it, but probably S and Y after treads Aquila. The trouble is that before BKB, and then even with the BKB, like you said, the swap to displace, the Ancient Seal and charge, there are things that go through it, and she's a squishy, almost melee carry as an Agi hero, and right here we're going to see it.
She's a dead carry. That's what she is.
Yep. Don't even need that another strike. And that's just too easy. And this is something that I was going to come back to as well, was that 1 smoke on 2 heroes is all they need. Vengeful Spirit +1, whether it be the Spirit Breaker or the Tusk, can kill the Luna or the Queen of Pain. You smoke into swap, you stun, you kill. Because these 2 heroes, sure enough, General's going for the Axe build so he can tank up a little bit more. But the kill potential is so much higher from Virtus.Pro at this point. The one hero from ScaryFaceZZZ they have to worry about is the Queen of Pain. General can blink himself around the map and look for these kills, but if you're grouped up as 5 up at top with defensive capabilities, you've got the silence out from... Oh god, this is risky. General's invis, but they see him. They don't see him anymore. Yes, they do. He's dead, right? Yeah, he's gone. Recovery comes in with a Luna, but still not finding any kills. She's ripped apart and taken down. Another bash from DK4 will finish off that one, and Shadowway retreats. They kill off one in the back end as Tusk falls, but Zeke, can you kill off Illidan? I don't think so. State 21 might be able to with his burst strike on cooldown. He can't get in there with a charge across. They've got Shadowway as well. Silenced up. A couple of hits in is all they need to finish him off, but the brain sap will keep him alive a little bit longer as Illidan is turned on. But they've got a full 5-man team wipe for 2 supports in exchange, and that's it.
How's Illidan even still alive, honestly?
It's Vengeful Spirit with stick charges.
Yeah.
Honestly, tread switch, stick charges, your stat gain is honestly great. 2.6 and 3.3. Vengeful Spirit is so underrated as a support. Not even kidding. I was having this argument in a Skype chat 3 days ago. Someone said, oh, Vengeful Spirit's such a trash carry. And I said, no, it's legit. No, she's so trash. She just stuns. She's got nothing that scales. People don't understand that Vengeance Aura and Wave of Terror scale immensely. Swap is an infinitely scaling ability, pretty much. You know, it's okay. It's not like Flesh Heap. It's not like Sansa stealing intelligence. But just being able to displace, like, you know, Batrider was a popular hero back in the day because he could displace that one hero. Being able to swap someone, I mean, General now is snowballed and bashed, but Shadowway's there to save him. But being able to remove one hero from the team fight of your choosing. Sure, you put the Vengeful Spirit in the thick of things, but you've got heroes that can counter that out.
Yeah, and quite frankly, just the way Illidan has been playing it is superb so far. And this is, again, one of those things. Are you really fully aware of what this Vengeful is capable of as a carry? Like, are you fully aware of that, okay, if I position myself here, this Vengeful Spirit is going to be in position to swap me? Especially once Illidan hits level 11, I think it's going to be even much worse, just because you don't really expect an early level 11 Vengeful Spirit swap, right? And that range is just huge.
Oh, Bane. Okay, gets the Nightmare down. Now, my hand twitched there when Roshan died. I was getting in the habit of alt-clicking on the clock and, you know, marking down the timer in my games, and it's still carrying through. That's just demolishing there. Taking down that tree and protect it instantly. But Roshan gone 13 minutes in the game, and how many other heroes can do this? Not many. Now you think about Lycan, Ursa, but with the help of Presence of the Dark Lord, with a Wave of Terror, now up to, what is it, level 1 only? Vengeance or level 4 though? Holy crap.
Dead if he gets swapped.
Oh, no vision? I don't see. I don't see her.
He guessed incorrectly, but if he had the vision there, dead for sure. And one creep and he's level 11. That level 2 swap is just disgusting.
General. He's up on this high ground, and State 21's going in. They've seen Illidan. They're going to get the burst. No, they're not. They're not. He's going to get stunned up, and State 21 burst strikes through them. But General, there's the Scream Sonic Wave. Lil's still alive, though. Punches him up in the air, and the charge is coming through. G's ready with the mech. Heals up Illidan, and he's still alive with the Eclipse out. G's going to lose his life, but it's only the first one. Still has that Requiem. And with the charge following through onto General. Is G just going to stand his ground and fight Requiem? No, there's a burst strike onto 3. State 21 gets to lose them all. And with that tree and ulti down, they're going to get a kill. G's going to die secondary time, but not before taking down one. Yep, there's one, is in another. Requiem finishes off the tree, put a 4 for 3. And this time, ScaryFace is getting the better of VP.
Yeah, that was actually pretty much the best fight that they could have hoped for. And that Sand King, actually, I'm not sure if that was, or if he knew that was going to happen, but he stunned at the same time DK4 came in charging towards the Quap, so pretty much a perfect triple stun. And SFZ, though, they've invested so much time into, or time early on into killing the SF, and look at the net worth chart. I mean, sure, he died here, but still, he got like 2 kills still. He has a mech, he has a Yasha. G on this SF, he definitely caught up, and he's now ahead.
He definitely is. General, Aghanim Scepter is 100 gold away, and he's going to complete that now with that Blade of Alacrity. But what we saw in previous games was that Bane, you know, the 2 supports on ScaryFaces, they rely very heavily on their item progression, as well as his offlaner, State 21. He needs his Blink Dagger. So once he gets that up and running, which is not too far away, they can start making plays. But I do worry about this Luna and her progression. Because sure, you get utility on your supports, on your offlaner, you get blinks, you get glimmers, 4 staffs and things like that. But the Luna needs to really start stacking up. The Queen of Pain offers you tons of magic and pure damage. But the right-click damage you need to actually bring down heroes like this Shadow Fiend and this Vengeful Spirit who has a cloak, tanking up even more apparently. And I'm wondering, is it Glimmer into Shadowblade?
Yeah, why not? I think it's actually really good. It's actually really good against this lineup. I mean, you can see how almost easily Illidan fell towards the Queen of Pain and the Luna. There's so much magical damage coming out, so Glimmer Cape, you don't really see it too often on carries, but quite frankly, for somebody like Illidan or for somebody like Venge, who, as you said, is going to expose herself much more in like dangerous situations by swapping herself in, kind of need those defensive items. Sure, you want a BKB, but it's much more cost efficient, I think, to just get a Glimmer now.
Yeah.
And eventually turn it into a Shadowblade, which is actually a really good aggressive item on a Vengeful Spirit.
That's the thing, we saw it from Dragon Knights, from Slarks a little bit, where if things were going a little bit rough and you needed that extra bit of tankiness, or you needed, you needed a little bit of a stopgap item before your Shadowblade, as in general. Gonna spot out Lil here, but he's blinked forward aggressively with the punch and the snowball, the swap back as well, stun into silence, and General is dead.
That is, again, Illidan and on this Vengeful Spirit, there was such a good pick, honestly. It is just, again, it's just something that you're not really too focused on, or something that you really think about. The fact that there's going to be level 2 swaps suddenly out of nowhere. It is just something that you have to get used to, and I feel like SFZ is not really fully aware of this fact just yet.
Well, Sand King has his blink. Zeke is over on the... Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, that sentry.
He's not on the sidelines anymore. Shards will actually allow him to escape a little bit here, but with the dust forward, they'll kill off the tree and get the overgrowth off just in time. But concussive shot will finish him on the back end, though is the epicenter for DK Phobos tanking through it all with the Nether Strike. He's actually got the mech there as well. They're killing off everybody. That Nether Strike timing, holy crap.
And it was the first showing of the Sand King Blink Dagger, and he uses it to solo Epicenter a Spirit Breaker with Treads and Urn. Nothing is really going for SFZ right now, and as he said, the Luna, she's struggling so hard.
Like, it's at the verge of her having nothing.
Yeah.
This is how far behind she is, because Illidan, they're up on the high ground, and this is the strength I was talking about. With the Vengeful Spirit, you clear creep waves and you take towers. The damage on the Shadow Fiend has now hit 148. We're 18 minutes into the game.
And this is where I'm not sure why they even picked the Luna in the first place, especially this early on. Oh, General, you're so dead.
Yeah. Well, he's going to survive a little bit longer, but that last Arcane Bolt will finish him, and without buyback, they're going to lose their first set of racks here already.
I mean, we did talk about it early on, at the beginning of the very draft. Like, maybe it's just really late and they just really want to just finish it just because, you know, they want to go to bed. And quite frankly, VP is just playing this way as well. It's completely different VP than we saw in the first game against SFZ. Just because, yeah, sure, they were dominant, I guess, in a few parts, but they're also playing like it, you know? They're just playing it very seriously, and they do the right things. They don't really make any mistakes right now on VP side.
Shadowy on the run out, but look at Illidan. He has no fear in the world,
so
and he really should, because he is one versus the world. He's still tanking through everything with his cloak. He's got 5-stick charges, swaps himself out, and the mech is here as well from G. There's the overgrowth of the Sonic Wave, but in comes the cavalry. State 21 stuns up Phobos and G at the same time. Shards will block them in. Great shots there with the snowball catching onto State, but General's in the back end. Silenced up and Mystic Flare finished off, and Arzik looking for the punches onto DK Phobos, but his Glimmer caped up and gets himself away. Meanwhile, the 2-man stun comes out again from State 21, but VP just don't stop fighting.
And this is SFZ, even though VP fought like really badly. I mean, Illidan being exposed there was just really bad. He should have died, honestly. And even though that happened, VP still wiped them, right? It's just how far ahead they are.
20-minute GG? Virtus.Pro just walk away with the game. Oh my goodness gracious me. Well, Danish TV, I hope you enjoy that one. 23-13. Virtus.Pro. I mean, we waited half an hour for it, but my goodness. Vengeful Spirit in the one roll. I thought we'd seen the end of that one, and Power Rangers stopped playing it, but... See, now I'm starting to wonder what else they'll pull out of the bag, because Doom is becoming more popular, right? Doom is like one of the meta heroes now. Virtus.Pro used to run aggro tri-lanes with Doom. I don't know if you remember that. But I'm waiting now. I'm gonna be waiting with bated breath for the aggro tri-lane Doom.
after these 4 games, I am really, really excited what Virtus.Pro can bring to the table at like at a bigger stage. I mean, their performance at ESL 1 in New York wasn't really that convincing, or was actually rather poor, but at the same time, it was pretty much the first tournament for them, right? They didn't really have too much practice before that. And I feel like this Virtus.Pro, they look really hungry. They look kind of happy, sort of like experimenting a bit here and there. And I'm looking forward to this, honestly. They have so many strategies up their sleeve. I mean that Trilane Troll with the Night Stalker and the Bane. What?
It's all good stuff. All good stuff. Ultra kill for G. Where's your rampage? Come on, Treant. Just Treant, give it to him. You've bought 6 Sage's masks, but you disconnect from the game and...
Why?
Oh boy.
I don't know. Well. But look at the Treant though. In honor of Lil,
yep,
he decided to, you know, change things up a bit. I like how Lil actually stays in base so he can do this kind of stuff. And now he's changing it with the courier.
Wait, what's he done? What's he bought? Come on, endgame screen.
He bought couriers.
Oh, okay.
But like, the fact that he actually, like, I think he even TP'd back to base just so he could do all this stuff.
Of course, commitment. You've got to commit to your memes. Commit to your memes. Well, that brings the night to a close. Virtus.Pro 2-0 here against ScaryFaceZZZ. So they got themselves, was it 3-1 overall tonight? Not a bad showing. Team Alternate did manage to take 1 game off them though, with the flying couriers, ground couriers, Sage's masks, and everything being bought out by multiple people in this game. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a good evening. You can check out my co-caster Skim on Twitter @SkimGaming. Do you have any shout-outs?